Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. Hey y'all, just real quick, I wanted to share with you how I created my 3 panels using the Lindy's Magicals. Now I'm starting out with, I have 3 different watercolor cards cut down to slimline size. I believe these are 3.5 by 8.5 if I'm not mistaken, but I've saturated it with water. This one has a little bit of some texture paste from a previous project that didn't work, but I am just taking this fan brush and dipping just the tips of the bristles down into each color. Now this is the Steampunk Soiree set. I do have 5 different sets. This is the only one I've played with so far. But like I said, I'm just dipping and then tapping that pigment off onto the fully saturated watercolor card and just letting those pigments play. They're blooming and they're blossoming and they're blending and moving around. Now I don't want those big puddles on the edge, so you saw that I took my little towel, nappy, whatever, to the edges and just kind of dab some of that up. Now this one I'm only playing with the Petticoat Plum is the name of this color. Now again, this one is fully saturated as well, and I did do a little bit of kind of smooshing up any of the leftover pigment from the previous panel, and that's why there was a little bit of color on it already, but it wasn't enough. So there was just a little bit of the plum color, so I decided I would make the whole panel in plum. And now I'm doing a little bit of splatter. You see I brought in my first panel. I was splattering some of that plum onto that other panel. And what I'm not showing is in between, I am hitting these with the heat tool. Now this one was fully saturated, so I just went ahead and set it aside to dry naturally. I've moved everything out of the way, and I don't waste. So if I have leftover pigment on my work surface, I'm going to blot it up, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. So I have some of that. It's called Bandolier Brown, which is the top left, and that one that just picked up is called Yesteryear Yellow. So these are the 3 main colors, the brown, the purple, and the yellow. These are the colors that are left over on my work surface, and it creates the most beautiful palette. This is the card panel that I'm in love with the most, and that's why this one is slowed down. I have not used this one. I haven't used the purple one, the plum one either, but yeah, this one I don't know what I'm going to do with. It's going to be a special project before I use it. And so as with any other type of medium, wet on wet blends. So you see my colors are blending. Wet on dry layers. So here I went to do some splattering, and of course they're just blending. The colors are just blending together because they're wet. They're absorbing into each other. So I go off screen and I hit it with my heat tool, and then I come back, and now I can get some more layers, and you can see how the brown is layering on the yellow and the yellow on the purple. Yeah, so I just keep going back and forth like this. Sorry some of this is off screen. I only have so much space to show on camera, but if I get too much, I just dab it with that little towel, and I'm just tapping it into the water, and now I come back with the splatter. So trying to pick up some of that plum color and just splatter it around. And you'll see every now and then I will bring in my other panel, or I'll go up to the top right and try to splatter on the plum colored panel. But ultimately, like I said, this one is my favorite, and it does take longer, of course, than what I show. I think this was a full hour process for these 3 panels, but I have sped some of it up, cut some of it out, and really just showing you what I think are the highlights that get us to the end product. So I'm wanting some more of that brown. So here I'm tapping it out, and it doesn't take a lot. These pigments go far. A very little bit will do ya. You remember the saying, little dab will do ya? Yeah, a dab of this will do ya. I am just trying to add more layers, and I really want some more of that brown. So I'm getting some nice splatters going on there. And I just keep going back and forth, splattering and dabbing and drying, splattering and dabbing and drying. And sometimes I'll go off screen. I might be doing some work on the panel that's just not within screen. And again, here you see me going up to the top panel and then bringing that one in again. And yeah, I'm just having a good time. So that bottom panel on the far left, the one that I'm about to splatter on, that is the one that I used for the twofer situation, where I used the Build a Fairy Garden set from Whimsy, and I created two different cards. So, but this was the process. This was how that was made, as well as two others. And yeah, I'm sure I'll be playing with those Lindys some more. So guys, thanks for joining me, and I will be back soon. And until then, mwah, I'm out.